My child is lazy and refuses to get a job. That's a real new phenomenon, really, where because of the luxury that the middle and upper class parents can provide, a child can stay at home from 18 to 35 or 40. Now, if you're really wanting them to get a job, we need to find out what's going on with them. So number one, yes, they could be depressed. If they're depressed, there's different reasons why they're depressed. So go get them to get their thyroid checked. Go get them to get their hormones checked, because those could be factors. That's something you can ask them to do. Now, that's probably not why they don't get a job, because there's lots of millions of depressed people who work every day. Okay. Now, you are positively rewarding them with shelter and comforts. So, if it's in your control, remove all electronics. Stop paying for everything. Don't pay for the cell phone. Don't pay for the TV. Don't pay for the satellite. Don't pay for anything. If you own those materials, take them out of the room. You might need to take them out of the whole house. And that's okay. Because if they're sitting around playing video games or watching pornography, they're never going to be motivated, because you're actually giving them pleasure and you're paying them to do that, whether you're giving them any money or not. You're giving them shelter. You're teaching them no responsibility. And that's something that now you might need to deal with. Now, we have a great book called The Parent Prodigal Process. If that's what's going on, you might want to read that, so you're not necessarily blaming yourself totally, but you have some responsibility in development. Now, I don't know what your arrangement is, don't know what your agreement is, but you want to have an agreement that they do X amount every day. Whether they look for a job 2 hours a day, they clean the house 2 hours a day, they cut someone else's grass, they volunteer at the church, the synagogue, the political organization of your choice, whatever. They have to be out of the house from this hour to this hour, 8 to 12, 12 to 4, either way, half of it, they have to be out of the house. Okay, that's a great start, because they have to figure out what to do with their time. Well, go exercise, that's good for you. But it's totally okay if you have them in your house to say, listen, to be in this house, your rent is 4 hours of volunteering every day, 5 days a week. If you don't want to make any money, okay, but you have to be of service. So get them to go volunteer at a hospital, or volunteer at an old folks home, or volunteer at a religious or political organization, and they'll start feeling some self-esteem and getting some value, start building some relationships. And again, if they're addicted to technology, that's an addiction. Watching television, all the social media, video games, those are all possibly addictions, and they need to be treated as addictions. And if it's under your control, shut it down. Okay? If they are addicted, they'll go find another place to go do it. Okay? So that'll at least get them out of your house. All right? But if they refuse to get a job, you might have to legally kick them out of the house. I would call your local police department, sheriff's department, find out what the process is if you have to remove them from your house. If you want to have a location that you pay a month for, that's fine. You don't have to do that. If they don't have any money, there are shelters. Do some research and take them down there and say, now this is where you're going to stay in 2 weeks from now if you don't have a job. I already called the sheriff. He's going to come. He's going to take your stuff and he's going to put it in a storage unit, and we're going to pay for that unit for 30 days, 60 days, whatever you want to agree on. But you're not going to live here. Okay. So this is the homeless shelter. Here's how you get here. All right. And if you're providing car insurance, if you're providing gas money, you are enabling an addict. Okay. You need to stop enabling. If it feels like they're a prodigal to you, get in a parent prodigal group. If you feel you need counseling, get in counseling. Okay, this is now a systemic problem. This is probably a great problem in your marriage, because I'm sure one of you is like, this kid needs to get moving, and the other one's, well, we got to love him and take care of him or her. And okay, now it is possible they've been sexually abused, abandoned in some way, or injured and traumatized that you don't know about. Get them into counseling. That's fine. That can be a condition for them staying as well. However, it's okay for you to do some tough love here. All right. Now, if they have psychological disorders and you don't know that, but you think that, go to a psychologist, have them go, her or her, go to a psychologist and get a psychological testing. All right, if they're truly schizophrenic, that's different. If they're truly, have some kind of on the spectrum issues you need to deal with, okay, at least you can now know what the problem is. They have a language for their mental health issues, and that's a real possibility. If it's a possibility, then find out what it is. Don't be guessing and thinking and Googling. Go to a psychologist, not a psychiatrist, a psychologist. Ask for a psychological test and see if there is a disorder there. If there is, you can be compassionate, move towards treatment, but also you can move towards a halfway house. You can move towards other ways of them living. It's important for you to be in agreement. So if you're not in agreement on how to deal with this lazy child, okay, you need to get to a counselor or a spiritual leader and talk this through, get a plan, and be in agreement.